Hi, I'm Manasvita Rajesh, and I'm a junior at High School North. And this is Rhea Dutta, and she's also a
Hi.
junior at High School North. And we are going to be interviewing Miss Jane Campbell. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Hello, as she said, I'm Jane Campbell, and I've lived in Plainsboro for over 20 years. I have three daughters, and the oldest is 28, the middle one is 26, and my baby is almost 21. She'll be 21 at the end of this month, actually, like in 2 weeks. And I have been involved in the community, I guess foremost with whatever activities my daughters pursued, and they varied from swimming to rowing to dance, all types, competitions in dance, volleyball, whatever my daughters were involved with, I was involved with whatever activity they did in whatever fundraising or cheering on projects or whatever they were involved with, I was there. Individually, I participate in giving back to the community in different ways. I give back in Girl Scouts is one venue. I am currently a coach for the cadet Girl Scout leaders, which is about 50 leaders right now in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Before that, I was a coach for the juniors for several years. I did that a couple times, twice, like in 3-4 sessions, then took a break, and then another 3-4 years, just to support other women so that they can support girls. I suppose that's my biggest, it's hard to say what my biggest impact, but that's probably my most prevalent impact on the community, because I'm impacting directly other women that are making an impact on girls. I also do a lot of volunteer work for a Bible study and for my church. I've done a lot of teaching for over 20 years, from preschoolers up to like 5th grade, and actually now I'm a youth leader. So I give back to the community in that way with my church, working with teens. So I guess I am kind of involved in the community a little bit. What have I done for the community? I hope that answers that question.
Yeah.
Why do
No,
you
I
think?
think you perfectly just segued into our first question. So yeah, our first question was, what have you done for the community? And I
Yeah.
think from what I've heard, you've done a lot for our
Yeah.
community. I honestly didn't know half of this stuff.
Yeah. And I think
Um,
like your biggest, I think the biggest thing I took away from this, you answering this question, was that you are a big advocate of girls supporting girls, and uplifting each other, and also helping the younger generation, the youth like us, kind of um, I guess build a platform so we can help, so we can change the world, because we're still young, but we can do a lot of stuff. So I think that's what you kind of push for us to do. I guess does that make
Yes,
sense? I
yes,
don't know.
absolutely. I learned very early in my life that children can make a huge impact on their families. Um, I saw that when I was teaching at a church community, and raising three girls, obviously I wanted them to be the best that they could be. I have a civil engineering background. My studies are in civil engineering. And I always was pushed to be the best that I could be and to pursue whatever interests and passions I had. And I wanted my children to do that as well, which is why they all went in different directions. As a mom of two young kids at the time, it was always easier that they both did the same activities. But I had a health crisis in my life in 2001 and realized that they need to pursue their own dreams. And so one pursued swimming and the other one pursued dance, and found the value of carpools. So, but yes, I strongly encourage my daughters and all girls to be the best that they can be. I was a Girl Scout leader myself since second grade to seniors in high school. I was able to see these girls develop to little girls and to empowering, strong young women and many of them did their silver awards and their gold awards, and it was so exciting to see them blossom to who they could be. And they still come back to me and said, would you write a recommendation for me for this, and can you write a recommendation for this? I'm going for this application, or I'm doing this program. So that's pretty exciting that I can make a difference in their lives.
Yeah, definitely, which I think takes us to our second question. I think you might touch upon it a little bit, Rhea, if you want to ask the second question.
Yeah. So why do you think it's important for girls and women to take a more active role in their communities?
Well, I think it's important to have role models and people that you can look up to. And I know I've had my role models. Louisa Ho in Girl Scouts is a huge role model for me. She's incredible as to what she does and how she does it. But I know it's important that I've been a role model for my daughters. They've even been on interviews and have said that themselves. And I know my youngest daughter wanted to be a role model for herself. Instead of doing a gold award in Girl Scouts, she opted to be a leader for 2 years for a junior troop for their 4th and 5th grade years, because she wanted to make more of a difference, to be a role model for girls. And now these girls are off and running and working on silver award things. So it's pretty exciting to see how it has a neat domino effect. Girls can do a lot more than they think they can if they're given the opportunity to do so. At the time I was studying engineering, there were only like 3 or 4 girls in the engineering field. Now I have a daughter, my middle daughter is a mechanical engineer. She has her undergraduate and her master's in engineering. And my youngest is studying to be a chemical engineer. So I don't know whether they're following engineering because I was an engineer, or that's just where things ended up. But just to pursue them, have them pursue what they desire and what their passions are about.
So you touched upon the idea of having strong role models, and I think you mentioned some of your own, but what do you think, if someone who wants to become a role model, what do you think like are some characteristics they have to like show to everyone else, or what are some steps they have to take to become a better role model for both themselves and for others to look upon?
Well, the first thing you have to do is put yourself out there. You know, you just can't stay behind a screen, or you can get some work done behind a screen, but you just can't stay in books. You just can't stay at home playing video games or reading or whatever. You definitely need to get out there and put yourself out there. Find something that you're passionate about, or something that interests you, whether that's plants or animals or bike riding or running or sports or whatever it is. Just go and be the best that you can be. And it's amazing how people have told me later that I've affected them in being a model and I didn't even know it, or I was trying to be an example for them. But just be the exciting person that you are in the activity that you're passionate about, and people notice and they catch on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I guess with a lot of girls, I think their biggest fear might be putting themselves out there. So in that case, what kind of advice would you give to kind of like push them and to kind of give them that extra kind of surge of courage for them?
Just do it. I know when my girls were little, then and the rage was cheerleading, was a big push for little girls to be cheerleaders. And that was involved in the world of soccer. And I had asked them, do you want to be the one on the sidelines cheering, or do you want to be on the field so they have someone to cheer about? And they said they wanted to be on the field to cheer about. So it can be scary to put yourself out there, but if it's something that you like or you think you might like, that gives you some boost to be a little bit more brave. If it's something that's totally foreign, maybe the the benefit of knowing that it'll make a difference down the road for somebody else, as well as have you personally grow, will overcome whatever fear you might have. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
No, it definitely does. I think personally for me, I think when I look back at like the start of high school and everything, there were some things I would have liked to do that I never really brought myself or like forced myself to do. And I think that was actually like, something I like had planned out for this year, was like to like push myself to be more out there. And I feel like that's something that everyone needs to be told at some point in their lives, to like go out there and to sort of work, or to just go put yourself out there and see what happens. It's better to try it than to have regrets about it later. It's something that I've learned.
And I also
And
think
yeah,
I also think it helps to remember like that you're not alone in that, and that they're like Rhea, there's also me who's, I think we're all afraid to do some certain things. And I think it's nice to have a support system, like knowing that there are people who might be afraid to try something new, but if they have that friend who might help them or kind of support them or encourage them to do it, it makes that a little bit easier.
Well, one of my mottos, I have a couple of sayings, is it's better to try and fail than not to try at all.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Um, and then there's something very similar to that. It's like, you'll always, so I forget how it goes,
Miss like
something with a
100.
baseball, like you'll always miss the ones that you never swing at, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of learning that that can happen when you fail. And I truly see that in Girl Scouts, as I would lead girls. And um, so many of these girls, like, was the first time they ever held a knife or did some cooking or washed a dish, and um, sometimes our community likes to protect our kids and not have them fail. And I have a very different opinion about that in the world of Girl Scouts, and that, and in all places actually, that let them be, let's see what they do. And so make sure they're safe, but teach them and let them make mistakes and let them learn. You learn so much more from what your mistakes are than what you succeed sometimes. And you'll never
Yeah.
do that unless you try.
Definitely.
And so I guess our final question for you are there any experiences you've had personally that you think other girls listening might benefit from hearing about?
Oh boy, there's probably a bazillion and one. To focus on maybe one or two. Um, benefit from hearing. Well, I guess as a mother and a parent, I'm very proud of my children. And I am very proud of my middle daughter, Vicky. She has always excelled in her academics, but she has also excelled in her social awareness things. She's been recognized at her work location, which is John Hopkins Applied Physics Lab. And she is very involved with SWE, which is the Society of Women Engineers.
Mhm.
And I know she's making a difference there. And I know she's been acknowledged for her community contributions there through work. And that makes me proud that she's giving back, and she's just not pursuing her own academic growth, but that she's also giving back to the community. Oh gosh, again, I mentioned earlier that my youngest daughter was a Girl Scout leader for 2 years. That really made me proud. And it was fun working with her. It was a relationship where she was with the girls and we would plan together what they would do. And I would work with the moms, and just to see her interact with the girls and relate with the girls was more than I could ever do, because girls like looking up to older girls more than they looking up to adults. An experience that the girls may benefit from hearing.
No, I think
Just
you pretty much answered the question. I think Um,
Yeah,
I
if you
think
have
you did
anything
it.
else you'd like to
Yeah.
add, and I know it may not be coming right to you right now, but I think that what we took away from what you were saying so far was that like it's great that you kind of it's great to focus on yourself and the things that you can do, but it's also great to kind of use those things that you're good at to help other people, like your daughters do. So I think that's great and very inspiring. So if you have anything else to add, that um,
Well, I just want to put the connection together as to how I know Rhea. That was never really said.
Yeah.
One of the aspects of Girl Scouts is that we have traditions. And one of the traditions is having a bonfire. And normally it's a large event where all the girls meet in one place and we sing songs and usually have the opportunity to roast s'mores. And there was also an opportunity for me to be a troop leader, and I thought long and hard about it, on top of being a coach. And I thought long and hard about it, and I said, you know what? I loved singing and I love bonfires. You know what? If there's a need to do that, I'd really rather do that for the service unit. And so I communicated to the powers to be saying that I would like to take this on. And the leaders found other girls, older girls, to help me. So we have this ragabond, so to speak, a group of girls that help. There's 6 of us on our team, and we call it the bonfire team. And Rhea is one of those members of the bonfire team. And we have kind of created a little performance, so to speak,
Yeah.
that includes singing skits and having s'mores. So, and Rhea has become our game master. So while at the end of the singing and skits portion, we kind of break off to do s'mores. So we only do that a couple girls at the time, and the other girls are playing games. And Rhea has been a master of keeping those girls entertained and working with them. And that's how I know Rhea. So I guess I have many hats in Girl Scouts. And I just wanted to acknowledge Rhea's participation and her willingness to step out and working with me, who I was just a name on a piece of paper and a phone number to contact. And she took a chance and she put herself out there, and she's just blossoming in the environment that she's in. So I'm glad I could provide that opportunity for you.
I'm really glad I could work with you on this project. And I feel like this just all connects to I feel like our overarching message of like this whole interview has been like, you have to put yourself out there. And personally, if I was to look back at like my 9th grade self or like my 8th grade self, I probably wouldn't have joined the team just because I wouldn't have felt confident enough to put myself out there to take the risk. And I feel like being around my friends and like maturing, so like friends like Mana's friends, like all my other friends, and seeing what they've been doing and how they've been helping their communities has like sort of pushed me to become more open to helping out the same way.
Do I have time for one more story?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
I've talked about my middle child and my younger child, and I really haven't talked about my older child. When my older child was in high school, she really loved math. It's another math and science person, but she really loved math, and she was thinking about being a teacher. So I signed her up for a class that was during the summer about to experience whether or not you wanted to be a teacher or not. I said, if you don't know, do the class, do the camp. It was like a camp. And if you like it, you can pursue being a teacher. And if you don't like it, then you have an answer. So you go in a different route. Better to try and fail than not to try at all, philosophy again. And she took the class and she decided that she was really going to participate. She's my usually more quiet, introverted type one compared to the others. And she decided that she was really going to be involved and volunteer and participate. And she told me later that it was one of the best experiences that she ever had. And it also solidified the fact that she did want to go into teaching. She is now a physics teacher for high school. And so all of my daughters have pursued science or math in some way, and they're loving what they're doing. But the point is that she could have just taken the camp and been quiet and been on the back seat and kind of watched everybody else participate. But she chose that she really wanted to participate and put herself out there. And she said that she really would have regretted if she hadn't put herself out there and participated and get involved with experiments and work with the kids and make a difference. And because it was the first step of finding out what her passion was to be a high school teacher, a teacher of science. So yeah, life is good. I am very blessed.
Yeah,
And I think
I actually, yeah. Go ahead, Rhea.
I was just gonna say, I think our community is also really blessed to have people like you and people like just other women who are like, I feel like our community, we have a lot of role models as high schoolers, as young adults. We have a lot of role models to look up to, and we're just really happy we could talk to you today.
Yeah,
and
it was really really nice to listen to what you had to say. And hearing these things about Rhea, I didn't even know that. I didn't really know what she did in Girl Scouts, but I think it's great because knowing Rhea, having known Rhea for like more than a decade, I've always known that she was like super smart and a very kind person. And I think that she's just like the person that she's growing up to be is just amazing. It's great to watch. And I think people like you inspire her and, inspire me, even though I've only known you for like 20 minutes. It's been just really inspiring to hear what you've had to say.
Thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to do that, because any opportunity I have a chance to work with young people, especially like yourselves or anybody, where they're trying to figure out what they want to do in their lives. You're at a very critical stage at a junior in high school. You're thinking about colleges and what are you going to do, and knowing that it makes a difference somewhere down the road to give back, or even just currently and presently, will make you a more well-rounded person and will help you in your future endeavors and down the road. So it's not always just books. It's making a difference with everybody that you can come in contact with. And that's exciting. It's exciting to make a difference in somebody's life. And that's what I try to do in a positive way.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've gone through all our questions we had. Is there anything else you'd like to say, or Manas, you'd like to say before we end the interview?
Yeah, I'm pretty much, I have nothing else to say, but if you have anything to add.
No, just thank you for this opportunity. I feel honored that you picked me. I just be the best that you can be, and make a difference in someone's life. What is the saying goes? Go out and make somebody's day, or something like that. But those are all not just cliche things, but they really make a difference. And good luck to you in your project. And if there's anything else I can do to help you, just let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna end the interview now, but thank you for coming, and we're
thank you for your time
for you today.
No problem. This was fun.
Thank you for your time.
All right, I'll leave so you guys can talk. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.